Hello and welcome to Matt's Casual Cooking. Today we are going to be making a savory mac and cheese with chicken. Very easy dish to make, very tasty dish. So we'll go over all the ingredients and let's get to it. Alright, so we'll go over the ingredients and then we'll get to some cooking. So you're going to need 16 ounces of elbow macaroni, and you're also going to need 1 to 1.5 pounds of chicken cubed. Then you can use kind of any boneless chicken that you want. I'm using chicken tenders today. Or you don't want to go too crazy with the chicken because you only have enough space in the bowl to cook it. So now for your cheese sauce, you're going to need 16 ounces of sharp cheddar. You're going to need 8 ounces of smoked Gouda-Cubed. You're going to need 8 ounces of Havarti-Cubed. You're going to need 1.5 cups of whole milk, a half cup of half and half, 4 tablespoons of butter, and 4 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Now, any optional items to cook with the sauce is going to be like cayenne pepper or ground nutmeg. Those are kind of some of the items. Now, what you do want to set aside is about 5 ounces of Parmesan cheese. You can do a little bit less. I wouldn't do anything less than 3 ounces for it, though. So what we're going to do first is we're going to cook the chicken and the noodles. Now, once your noodles are cooked and they're drained and your chicken's cooked, just go ahead and put the chicken in with your noodles and just put a cover on it, and then I'm going to go over how to cook the cheese sauce. So, alright, let's get to it. Alright, so in this pan, I've got the noodles and the chicken combined, and I did forget to mention a couple other optional things you can put in it if you want to put like some onions or bell peppers, or even some bacon would actually go quite nice with this as well. So be my guest and cook those, and you'll just want to combine them in at this stage before we make the cheese sauce. We're going to move over and make the cheese sauce, or the steps for the cheese sauce, and let's get it over. Alright, so you'll want to have your ingredients out, kind of all ready to go for the cheese sauce. So we're going to melt the butter first, just like on a medium-high for this. And I'm going to go over some of the other cheeses you can use for this here while the butter is melting. Alright, so then once your butter has melted and it starts bubbling a little bit, what you want to do is you want to take just a little flour. I'll kind of show you on here. You'll kind of want to just sprinkle it a little bit in there. If it starts sizzling, then you know it's good to put the rest of the flour in. So our butter is sizzling. So what we want to just do now is once we start putting it in, the flour is going to start to kind of sizzle along with the butter. So what we just want to do is go ahead and just combine it. Now we want to just combine it until it kind of resembles kind of like a paste almost. It's going to be a little liquidy, but it's going to be mostly paste-like. And then once that's done, you want to have your milk and half ready to pour in here to combine. Alright, so it is boiling right now, and it's kind of a light brownish color, and that's kind of what we want. So go ahead and just slowly pour your milk in. to do here is, again, we're just going to whisk to combine. We're just going to wait until it starts boiling again, so it starts bubbling, and then we're going to add the cheese except the Parmesan. So have your cheese on standby, and it's not going to matter what we put in. We just want to grab a little handful of each and just kind of slowly put it in there and let it kind of melt and combine, and then we're going to throw a little bit more in. Alright, so it is starting to bubble here, and once it starts to do that, we know we're good to go. So just take a handful of cheese, and it doesn't matter how much of each you get. Just kind of set it in there. Just kind of start stirring, and this is going to kind of start melting the cheese into our base. And you're actually going to see right away it's actually starting to get creamy. So once that's done, now some of you might have some chunks. Now that's fine, as long as some of it starts to melt, and that is going to follow. So go ahead and start putting a little bit more on there, and make sure you're whisking constantly on this. We don't want it to set. We don't want it to burn. Now, part of the reason we had the cheese, some of the cheese shredded and some of the cheese cubed, is we want them to melt at different rates. We want some of the cheese to really kind of melt a little bit slower and combine a little bit slower. We don't necessarily want the cheese to melt all at once. We want like a slow combine to kind of really get the flavors in there. So alright, so not all my cheese has melted into this, but that's okay. If you need to turn it down so it doesn't boil over, and I should have mentioned it before, but make sure to keep whisking so your bottom down here doesn't burn. I'll put a comment up there in the start. But right here would be a good time to actually add the spices. Now, I'm just going to add a little ground nutmeg to this. I'm not going to add a lot. Now, I can't tell you how much to add. This is really going to be on you. This is going to kind of give it a nice little nutty flavor along with the kind of the sharp cheddar. So just put that in there, kind of mix it in. And what we're also going to put in there is I like a little spice on my mac and cheese sometimes, and especially over this recipe. I like to add in the cayenne pepper, like I mentioned earlier. Now again, depending on how much cayenne, depends on kind of how spicy or hot your cheese is going to be, and it's really good. I'm going to go ahead and add the cayenne pepper here, because this cheese is pretty much done at this point. It just needs a couple pieces of spice. And this thing's being kind of a problem, kind of a pain right now, so sorry for the... I'm going to do it this way. Okay. Alright, so go ahead and combine that together. If you didn't do any spices at this juncture, what you're just going to want to do is take your cheese and just pour it over the noodles and chicken and combine that together. Now once you have that done, I'll go over the baking dish and the temperature and cook time. So we'll see you then. Alright, so as you can see, I've got the cheese and the noodles and the chicken combined, and I've got it in a corning dish. Now you can use a 9x13 band, and I did have to press this down, you know, a little bit to kind of get it in there, but it does all fit. I didn't have to take any out or anything like that. So, but now, if you don't want to bake it, you don't want to bake this, go ahead and add your Parmesan cheese to the mixture and just mix it all together and then just eat it as is. But if you want to bake it, we're going to put it in the oven at 350 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes, or until we have like a nice golden brown. So what you just want to do then is just take your Parmesan or your like Asiago and just kind of sprinkle it on top. Probably going to get a little melting into it, but I mean, that's all right. Now, if you don't use the whole 5 ounces, that's okay. Don't try to push it. Just go ahead and spread it evenly across, and this is going to help form a very nice crust on top of here. So I will see you guys in about 20 to 25 minutes. Alright, so as you can see, we've got a nice golden brown crust going here. We got a little bubbling over here on this side, and that's kind of really what you're looking for. I could have left this in a little bit longer and get a little bit more of a crust, but I mean, it's really more of your taste and how you want it done. So if you enjoyed this recipe, and I know you will, and you will definitely enjoy eating it as well, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more recipes, and I want to thank you for watching, and have a good, happy Thanksgiving, and have a good rest of your autumn. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.